How's it going? This is Finbar from Next Level Guitar. Okay, another part of setting up your guitar that's very important that should definitely not be overlooked is setting the intonation of your guitar. And that's done very, very easily. Basically, what you're going to do is if your intonation is off, you're basically going to change the length of the string, and that's going to actually correct that problem. What you're going to want to do is tune your guitar, right? So what I'm going to do here is I have my electric tuner, and be very consistent, by the way, when you're doing this. So, you know, the way that you pluck the strings and the way that you fret, believe it or not, even if your guitar isn't scalloped, if you fret, you know, too hard, you can actually change the pitch of that note. So when you're doing this, what you're going to do is you're just going to, you know, lightly pluck your string, tune it to get it into the proper tuning, right? So this is the E string. I'm tuning this to E. Right there. Hit the same string at the 12th fret. And you might want to do this, I'm just showing this to you, but you might want to do this in a playing position. And again, don't fret it too hard. Fret it just enough to get the sound, but and so that it doesn't buzz, right? But if you're going to hit that fret too hard, it's going to change the pitch. So what's happening here is when I hit it at the 12th fret, the same string, I'm actually sharp. It's not an E anymore, right? And that means that this guitar is not intonated properly. So I'm going to actually have to change the intonation by adjusting these screws at the back of the bridge, which is going to bring this string closer or further away. Now, if you are flat when you hit that 12th fret as opposed to the open string, you're going to want to turn these screws counterclockwise a little bit, right? And then you're going to turn it just a little bit, and then you're going to retune, because after you change the length, you're probably going to knock it out of tune. So you're going to retune and then check it again and see where you are. If you're flat, you're going to, like I said, you're going to move this counterclockwise. If you're sharp, you're going to move it clockwise or tighten it. So let's see what that looked like when I was open and when I was on the 12th fret. Okay, so here's the E string right here. And this is the little intonation screw for the E string. I'm going to have to turn that clockwise. Right? And what I'm doing there is I'm actually, as you can see, I'm turning this clockwise, which is tightening this screw, which is actually bringing this saddle back this way, right? Effectively lengthening that string. And again, once I do that, I'm going to need to retune now. And then you're going to repeat that with every single string, right? So every one of them is going to be intonated perfectly. This is kind of like a sometimes overlooked part of guitar setup that's really important. If you want your guitar to play and sound awesome, it's really going to need to be intonated really well. Another thing to remember is, like with a lot of these adjustments, you want to try and do your intonation when you're checking it in playing position, right? So there's absolutely no stress on that neck whatsoever. And like I said, don't, you know, bear down on the frets too much, because you could, you know, raise the pitch. Pickup height is a very, very personal thing. You know, some players might want their pickups a lot higher and really super close to the string and hot. Other people might want them a little bit lower. And just to illustrate that point, here I have some numbers of different recommendations for where you should have your pickups. Fender has a recommendation for guitars like this, like Strats, with the different types of pickups, whether you have Texas Specials or vintage style pickups or whatever. And then, you know, everybody has their own take on that. So you might say, why not just put the pickup all the way really close to the string, as close as it could possibly be, right, to get the great output, you know? But the problem with that is these pickups there's actually magnets here. So, and if you get too close to the string, believe it or not, that pickup can actually mess with the tuning of the string and also with the sustain. So you don't want to get too close, but, you know, you do want to have, you know, some nice output. What I would do, you know, like if you have a guitar like this or whatever guitar yours is, go by the manufacturer's specs and then adjust it to your own liking. But it's really nice to have a good balanced output with your pickups. So you're going to want to, you know, use your own ear and see what really sounds good to you. I'm going to give you, I'm going to just make these actually as per spec. I'll show you how to measure it. Once again, you're going to be using your old favorite tool, the 6-inch metal ruler. Okay, so we got a close-up here of the E string, or what they call the bass side of the pickup. And as per Fender Stratocaster specs, you're going to want to be 6/64ths, or that would be 3/32, away, and what you're going to measure is the post, right from the post right here to the bottom of the string, right? Similarly to how we did some other measurements here, like when we were doing for neck relief. So go ahead and set your little, your 6-inch ruler to 6/64, right? All right, I'm going to pop it right on the post. Remember, we're going right from the post to the string is what you're going to look at. And this right here, let's see, is the amount of gap that should be between the top of the post and the string. And you can probably see here that that post is actually down way too low. You'd have to raise it up about that much to be able to get it up where it needs to be. So this is actually too low, so we're going to have to adjust it. Okay, and as you can see here, there's screws right here on either side of the pickup for adjustment. And so you can tighten or loosen those screws, whatever you need to do. We need to bring this pickup actually closer to the string, so I'm going to need to tighten that screw to actually get it closer. So I'm going to pop this in here, and as you can see, as I'm tightening that string, that that pickup is actually getting a lot closer to the string. So let's see with our 6-inch ruler how close we are. All right, so as you can see here, we are actually, we were a bit overzealous and we went a little bit high, so we're going to have to bring that down a bit. Let's make that quick adjustment right there. Quick turn. And let's see where we are now. Okay, right there, it looks about right. So let's do the other side. All right, as far as the Strat Fender specs, we're going to be want to be at 5/64. On the treble side, which is the side with the high E string, we pop this right on here. And actually, that looks really good. That looks about perfect. So we're good. Okay, and there's lots of different ways to do that. Like I said, everybody recommends something different. A lot of people just will put their treble side, or where the high E is, about 1/8 of an inch away from the string, and then put their the other side, the bass side, about 1/16 of an inch lower than that. Some people even use a trick. They'll take a nickel and put it underneath the post right there and measure the string onto the nickel, and do the same all around. And because of the thickness of the string, then it'll come out right for them. But you need to do what you think sounds right, so adjust it how you want to, you know, and then play with it a little bit. Hear the difference. You know, you might want to, you know, level it a little bit different than other people do. Find out what sounds good to you. Another great measurement to do is to check your nut height. And again, we're going to be using this excellent feeler gauge, the .010 for this particular Strat. And what you do is you take that feeler gauge, and to check the nut height, is that's at a proper level, what you're going to do is you're going to check it at the first fret. So look right to your first fret right here, take that feeler gauge and pop it right in there. And it should be a pretty, you know, pretty snug fit without actually lifting the string up when you pop that in there. And this one right here is very good. That's just about perfect. That .010 height off of the fret. And again, you're going to put this right on the fret, right on that first fret, and check the distance between that, and you're checking to the bottom of the string. Should be about that much. Now, I'm not going to talk about if it's not that much what to do in this video, because that you probably want to take to a luthier or a guitar tech. But what they do is, if the nut is too high, you can, a couple things you could do. If it's too high all the way across the all of the strings, and it's too high at pretty much the same amount, or if it's a gradual increase or decrease, they'll take the nut out, flip it over, and sand it down, right, and then pop it back in there, the back of the nut. For individual strings, you can actually cut the groove down a little bit more, or if the nut needs to come up, you can shim the nut, pop the shim right in there and get the nut higher like that. So quite a few different things that you could do. And if you like this product, don't forget, spin on over to www.nextlevelguitar.com/shop and check out all our other products. We have some awesome stuff there for beginners, for intermediate guitar players, even if you're an advanced guitar player. And thanks again, and I will see you in the next lesson.